Slowly it rises.
Hey, it's ODB, the Lincoln Addict, back with another video. Just wanted to reinforce, I haven't forgotten about the channel. As I mentioned in a recent video, been super busy with a big project here at the house. Hopefully that's about winding down, and that will allow for me to jump back in and do more of the content that I have planned, also that I have been working on, including new episodes of the podcast. So I've been a little bit lax lately on doing the listing review videos for Bring a Trailer, eBay, so on and so forth. But what I want to do now is talk about the last two convertibles that have sold on Bring a Trailer, and just kind of maybe even get your feedback on via the comments why the prices were a little lower than I expected on these two convertibles. So with that being said, let's jump right in. Okay, so if we go to Bring a Trailer and I type in Lincoln Continental, so I want to talk about the last two convertibles that have sold. If you look at the bottom down here, there's actually I think four on the screen, five maybe. In April we had the 78,000, and then we had the 153,000. 65, and then I'm going to skip this one for now, the 20-year owned 67, which sold for 70K on May 7th. Now, since those three, there have been two convertibles that I just want to kind of hone in. 61, the first year of the Lincoln convertible, four-door, and then we're going to talk about the 64 that I did an in-depth review. If you take a look at the prices, you're going to see the 61 sold for 40,100 on May 11th. The 64 sold for 51,000. So just give or take about 9,000, 10,000 more, if you will, 11,000-ish. So what I'd like to hear from you guys and the ladies, what are your comments? Do you think that these cars maybe weren't as nice? That's why, they were in that low $50,000 range. Now, I did not do a review on this 61. I just have not had time. And if you look at this car through Bring a Trailer, you're going to see it's certainly not perfect. I often say these cars typically aren't perfect, but there's some wonkiness going on, especially here with the rear grill section, things like this, where someone was maybe trying to get the deck lid open, or taking this apart, not maybe knowing how to get it back. We see the little L here, the long tail, if you will, that is kind of smashed up. Maybe some of the gapping isn't correct. A 15-inch wheel versus the 14 for that year. Little things like that. But it's still sold, in my opinion, for a strong price for what it was at 40,000. Now, this 64, again, I'll link to a video at the end for the in-depth review of this car. I really thought this car was going to go for more, and my apologies, I meant to mention at the end of that video what I thought the car was going to go for. I said that I was going to, and I totally forgot by the time I got to the end of it. But my opinion was it was going to hit 72,000. And obviously that was wrong, incorrect. I'm typically pretty close. I do think whoever got this car really, really, really got a good, solid convertible, a nice color, rare color car. Again, as I always say, these cars are not typically perfect. There are things you can always invest time and money to. And that's important because we've seen that $150,000 65 that recently sold. It had all of that stuff done. And a lot of times you have an enthusiast or someone that wants to get in and make a purchase, and maybe the barometer's too high at 150K. They just can't do that where they are in life or whatever their situation is. But they can go, wow, I can get one for 50K. And over time do some things to it and really enjoy it. Now, what I like is, since I've been doing these videos, a lot of folks will chime in and, I'm covering these cars and they're often selling for a ton of money, and 51,000 is a lot of money as well. But, people see those $150,000 cars. Maybe I'll share those on social media just to kind of go, wow, look what this one sold for. A lot of people tend to take the negative side of that and go, wow, these auctions have made it unattainable for these enthusiasts and things like that. What I will say is, even at 51,000 and the other car that we just showed at, 40,000, sure, that is a solid amount of money. I totally get it. But seeing where we've seen cars, and I've shared many of them here, that were not as nice as this car that we're looking at just a moment ago, the 64 Continental convertible, and they're selling for 70 and 80 and 100, $150,000. To me, if a car is worth that, the time and energy is put into it, then by all means, right? We've seen those, I've covered those. But if you have a car, um, that is a car that's solid, and the values have continued to go up, it's pretty much a win-win in my opinion to go, hey, I'm going to come in at 50,000 with one of the, with this car. It's a rare color interior option, right? Coupled together, I kind of reinforce that we know now of, I believe, three. And it has a lot of the things working on it that you want to be able to get in, turn the key, get the family in the car, go for some ice cream, hang out, hit a local cruise, and have fun with it. And that's the good thing. I think what we've continued to see is, although the prices have continued to rise, there are price points that people can get into with one of these cars. Now, some people will argue and say, wow, back in 1989, I could have got one of these convertibles for $6,000. Absolutely. And I think we all know times have totally changed in the last 40 years. Same thing with BMX bikes that I'm into, and so many other things, whether it's collecting vinyl albums or whatever you're into, you can go on the higher end. I mean, even people that I'm sure collect fishing lures and fishing equipment, you can spend a ton of money on that stuff. But what I love is, again, the car that I thought was going to go just above 70K, which really I believe should have, someone got in at 51,000 and they go, wow, okay, now I'm in the convertible game. I've got a car that's really nice. And my opinion on this one is it really, shouldn't go black. It shouldn't get a swap and things like that. Sometimes these cars are just a little too pure. Even if you got a super nice car, I'm never going to, tell someone don't. It's your car, customize it if that's what you want to do. But me as an enthusiast who likes the customs and the stock factory appearances, I would say a car like this really kind of deserves to stay what it is. Do the interior, maybe redo it for that factory color, and keep it for what it is. But certainly I want to know why you think these cars maybe didn't tick up with the price. I'm going to venture out and say the 61 just was a little teeny rough around the edges. The 64, I really think it was the color. I think that you maybe have someone that goes, wow, I would have easily spent 51, but I don't want to go through this, the part of repainting this thing to the color I want, or I don't want to redo the interior. I'm going to have 20, 30,000 and doing all that. So I might as well wait until I get one that I can maybe get for 60 or 70,000 that has what I want. That's my opinion. That's probably why the sale only hit at 50K. Let me know what you think. Thanks for the support, and stay on the rise, everyone. Take care. ODB, the Lincoln Addict, I'm out of here.
Welcome to LA where the players play, and we ride on the things like every day.